will join us. Cindy, Khadija, Joanne. Wonderful. So, as these people are joining us, I'm just going to go give quick intro. Donna is my favorite person on Substack. She brings so much energy in any chat she gives and is full of stories. But recently, you wrote something which triggered me to start this chat. You wrote about your the trying time you're going through, Donna. You're providing care for your husband, and I thought that's a topic not many people talk about, and I am very much aware how trying and how um, and difficult this time is. And the only thing I found helped me at when I was going through that time, not with my husband, of course, but with my parents, was someone to talk to and a notebook to write into. And I thought, okay, let's have this chat. So we are having Tona here. We're going to talk about caregiving and creativity and how to support each other during this time. So, welcome, Donna.
Neera, thank you so much. It's really interesting because you know how you think, I don't know what time it is, but all of a sudden things happen at the same time? It was like you had reached out and said, let's do a chat. And then I posted on Mother's Day because it was Mother's Day and I had chosen never to bear children, but my mother is an epitome of mothers. I mean, Mother shared our home for 20 years. And I was a 24/7 caregiver for her the last 3.5 years of her life. And
Wow.
she had her life graduation. That's her term. She said, "I ain't dying, I'm graduating."
Love that term.
Yeah, she was a
Yeah.
character. She lived to be 96, so I come from, good longevity genes, I'm proud to say. And 2 weeks before she passed, graduated,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting in this desk right here where I am now. This was 3 years ago. It was 4 years, coming up 4 years. It was 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And right over here is our, king size bed. This is called a retreat in this floor plan. Absolutely love it. And for some people, it'd be a walk-in closet, but it actually opens up to a lanai behind me, sliding glass doors.
Mm-hmm.
And Mama Peggy and I hadn't talked for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
She said very little
Mm.
and writing something, and she sat up and she said, "Donna, we have a book to write." I said, "Wow, hi, Mom. Welcome back. What's on your mind?"
Mm.
And she said, "We have a book to write." And I said, "Okay, Mom, what is it?" And she said, "You know." I said, "What? Give me an idea what it is."
Mm.
And she said, "You know." "Mom, tell me the title."
Mm.
And I'm stuttering, and she almost screamed, "Tell me the title." And I said, "Getting old sucks. Caregiving and learning to let go sucks more." She said, "That's it." She laid back down, didn't say another word for 2 weeks until she said, "God, take me now."
My God, she gave you the book title to write about?
Yeah, and I've written some about that, and, it's interesting because I have 3 lanes that I'm really interested in. It has to do with caregiving and getting old. Getting old does suck, right? Because
Mm.
our bodies,
Mm.
it's like a car. You know, things get old and they need repair.
Mm.
And
Mm.
my mother was so amazing because she was having, let's see, 2004, she
Mm.
was going to have one of her knees replaced.
Mm.
And a week before that, she said, "Do them both." The doctor said, "What do you mean?" She said, "It hurts so bad." And they did the X-ray, said, "It's worse than the other one." She said, "Do them." They said,
Mm,
"But it's very difficult to recover when you have 2 knees replaced at the same time."
mm,
And she said, "I'm not going under anesthesia like this twice. It won't take me twice as long to recover. It'll take me more time than 1, but it won't
mm,
take me double time." So
mm,
they did both of her knees.
mhm.
Next year, she said, "I need my back done." And I said, "What, Mom?" She said, "My back hurts." Took her to an orthopedic surgeon. It's 2005. And he said, "Oh my, she needs her lumbar region, fused." She said, "Do it."
Oh my
And
God.
and she said, "Is there one of those rehab hospitals around here?" And they said, "Well, yeah." She said, "So put me in that afterwards." She was a character, and when
Mm,
the last lesson she had to me is write more. She would come into my office about 5 minutes before the hour, every hour, and she'd say, "Get up from that chair. Go hug a tree."
wow.
I said, "Yes, ma'am." And I think she must have trained her dogs. We've got 3 pups now. We had as many as 6 when she was with us. Excuse me, I got myself laughing so hard. Oh, I got runny nose. Anyway,
Mm,
and I think she trained the dogs to come in because if I'm not getting up from the chair, very often they'll come in and start barking at me to take them out, I guess, to get up off my butt.
oh my
But
God. You're so full of stories, Donna. And
Ma Mama Peggy's motto was to stay above the grass. You have to get your butt up.
yeah, she got it right.
Yeah, she did.
Okay. So tell me about what are you going through at the moment?
Well, I wrote the article on Mother's Day because I wanted something, but it's been like I feel like I've been a hermit for the past couple of months, and I was
Mm-hmm.
feeling guilty
Mm-hmm.
about not doing anything
Mm-hmm.
and being in my recliner, and so I opened up a custom GPT that I had been creating
Mm-hmm.
called Relief on Demand,
Mm-hmm.
and I had been you don't program it, you say, "This is what you want it to do," and I was just testing it. I said, "Well, I'll just be a test run here," and
Mm-hmm.
basically, I just said, "I'm tired," and it got into this conversation with me, and I'm going, "Crap, you're being my coach, and I created you, and damn, I like this," but I said, I'm feeling really guilty about the fact that I've not been doing anything. I haven't been keeping my Substack publication
Mm-hmm.
broadcast out." And it
Mm-hmm.
said, "So what?" I went, "Oh, good. I created a really good coach here. I like this." And basically what I discovered on Sunday was
Mm-hmm.
just because I was doing nothing, I was actually being productive
Mm-hmm.
because my body was telling me that I needed more rest. And if you the biggest problem with caregiving is that we ignore self-care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I've just been chatting. Ask me another question.
Yeah. So no. You touched a few points here. I want to explore. Before ChatGPT, we were always looking for someone with whom we could chat whatever was on our chest without feeling restricted. And I admit, I could hardly find a person like that who is not judgmental, who is not going to give us unsolicited advice, who is not going to ask questions we don't want to answer at that time. We don't want to explain too much. And suddenly we have this tool on our hands. Everybody has it. Um, ChatGPT, which you call relief on demand. Um, and you can write anything into it and tell it, and it comes back as your most considerate, most understanding friend with whom you could chat. How good is that?
Well, it is, but the biggest problem is it has
Uh-huh.
been programmed
Mm-hmm.
to often give you fluff,
Yes.
positivity fluff, and I actually when you create a custom GPT, you give it instructions,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, "I want you to have a dialogue with the person who's looking for relief, but
Mm-hmm.
under no conditions do I want you to just blow smoke up their ass."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Do you understand that?" And it went,
Yeah.
"I understand that." No, I'm asking GPT this.
Yes.
I said,
Yes.
"Do
Yes.
you understand that?" Yes,
Mm.
and it was at first when he was doing it was ending up with these really super positive, uplifting things. I said, "Wait a minute, if somebody's coming here for relief, they've got some stress, you wanna have a conversation about it." And I taught it I'm teaching it how to have a conversation about it, and I
Mm.
think that's one of the reasons that I was feeling so remorseful
Mm.
about caregiving is you were talking about having someone to talk with.
Mm.
My husband, we've been together for nearly 40 years,
Mm-hmm.
is the love of my life. I'm 6'5", he's 5'3". We've talked about that before. You know, I'm known
Mm.
as the big bitch and he's known as the little shit. And we actually started our relationship when
Mm.
we were speakers in the real estate industry. I lived in
Mm.
Florida, he lived in California, and we started a relationship as business partners.
Mhm.
And we were on the phone. Oh my goodness, that was when the phone calls were so expensive because this is in
Yeah.
1986. Oh,
Yes.
long distance phone calls. There was 1 month when my long distance phone call was $1,000. I go, "What?" Anyway, uh, but we had the ability to create together. He would have an idea and he would throw it out there and I would say, "Well, how about that?" Or I would come up with a thought and he would come out there. So he's been my creative partner. And so to have
Mm.
him be at a place in his life where his mind is less nimble, it
Mm.
I feel more alone. But
Mm.
wonderful because when you reached out and said, "Hey, let's have a live," and I'm going, "Here this woman is who lives on the other side of the globe and
Mhm.
heard me and said, 'Let's have a live together.'" And I'm sitting here nearly in tears because I appreciate you more than you will ever know.
I am so glad that you reached out and responded to my call, because you see, the least we can do is to understand the other person. And sometimes telepathy works, and you can hear what the other person is going through. So I actually do wanted to talk to you. I've been thinking all the people I am in touch with on Substack, I just consider them personal friends. And when I don't hear from someone for a while, then I start reaching out. Okay, what's happening? I have my first ever paid subscriber. Her name is Carol Seymour. She lives in a camper van. She goes around, and then she comes back to her home, and then she goes around again. And once she disappeared for whole 6 months, and I got worried. I said, here, this woman in her 60s living in camper van. I hope she's all right. I hope she's not met something. And then I started writing messages to her. She wasn't responding. And then I wrote to Substack to follow her up. And they didn't respond back to me. And then all of a sudden she appeared and she started talking to me. I said, where were you? You didn't respond to my call and I was worried. So, yes, subtext contacts are, even you are on the other side of the word, they become your friends. And I think that is the best thing that can happen in our lives. Technology has made it possible for us to have people to talk to whenever we need them. So now coming back to your relief on demand and the book your mother told you to write about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you asked me a question, which I haven't answered. I just read it fleetingly. That you have three books to write about, and you need help choosing it. I didn't hear the book which your mother gave you to write.
Well, actually, you mean that one,
Yeah, the
that one?
caregiving sucks. Yes.
Yeah, it was basically on 3 paths. One had to do with poker. It has to do the life
Mm-hmm.
lesson of poker. And
Mm-hmm.
another one is a mind-shifting deep dive. It's a follow-up of Mind Shifting on
Yeah.
Demand, and
Mm-hmm.
I have lots of
Mm-hmm.
short reads, like Mind
Mm-hmm.
Shifting on Demand for healthcare, Mind Shifting on Demand for seniors, Mind Shifting on Demand for entrepreneurs, Mind Shifting on Demand for authors. I have, like 10 of those, eh, drafted,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Getting
Mm-hmm.
Old Sucks. But actually then there's another one, which has to do with I'm 77. I was 77 last month,
Mm-hmm.
and when I turned 70,
Mm-hmm.
the interesting things that happened in my life
Mm-hmm.
because well, I might as well say it. So, my sexual desire had waned, and I came across, a an interesting patch that is transdermal, doesn't non-transdermal, doesn't have anything that you're gonna absorb into your system, it has to do with light. Nonetheless, it was that we started using them in 2019, and basically, my husband and I loved each other, but we didn't really go into our playroom. 'Cause we both had different bedrooms, but we had a 3rd playroom, just to let you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting because after a few months of using these, I woke up one morning and said, "Hmm, where are the batteries?"
Okay.
So I actually, bought a domain, eh,
Mm-hmm.
like we rent a URL, which is 70thenewsexy.com, and I I keep thinking, "I want to launch that too." So I have all of these things that I get excited about, but I
Mm-hmm.
know that it's really important to it doesn't I can
Mm-hmm.
do all of them as long as I have enough time left before I go to my grave, but I guess it's
Mm-hmm.
like finding which one to focus on, and oddly enough, when I was in your class and by the way, if anybody's listening to this, you have to know, she has this class about writing a book in 30 days, and you gotta take it. If you've not heard about it, go to her stack and look for it because you're starting a new one soon, aren't you?
Yes, there's one going at the moment in May, and then the next one is in June. So, yes,
Well
every start of month, I start a new class.
well, let me tell you what, it's priceless, absolutely priceless because your process is fabulous, and if it hadn't been for caregiving, I would have that book done, but I had committed to doing one on poker, but oddly enough, I keep being pulled away from that. Now, right now, we're
Mm,
in the first part of May, and in 6
mm,
weeks will be the most important time in the poker industry. The World Series of Poker
mhm,
is 6 weeks from the 1st of June, last of May until
mhm,
the 1st of June, and it's, excuse me, June to July, and there's over 100 tournaments, and I had intended to do that as preparation for the World Series of Poker, and oddly enough, I've gotten distracted, and timing is so important in that particular book, that particular
mm,
training.
mm,
I had done
mm,
a program called Poker Demystified because I
mhm,
think people are more interested they think they have to do things that are fancy, And the
Mhm.
most
Mhm.
important thing in poker is that you keep it simple. And
Mm.
the biggest thing about poker is that poker is clearly a card game played by people, but
Mhm.
it's most importantly a people game played with cards.
Wow.
And
Mm.
I wanted to do one, when I first started my Substack, which is now Self-Talk with Donna. It was poker's life lessons,
Mm.
and after a year, I said, "Well, wait a minute, it's all having to do with self-talk." So I'm getting back around to it, and I believe the next book is I'm unsure.
I think, Donna, here's a thought. You talk to all of them about different books, but what if they are all the same book and different chapters in that same book? So you don't have time to write the whole book about it, but you have enough time to write about a 2,000 word chapter on that topic with the same title, and then we can put it together in the book form. How about that?
Okay, and what would you suggest that be?
No, first write it all down, and then
Okay.
we'll talk about when we'll compile it into a book.
So, interestingly enough, I say all these collaborative books, so it's about a collaborative book with me.
Yes.
I am my own collaborator. Okay, this is
Yes.
for Donna. This is the caregiving Donna.
It,
This is what?
this is called essays.
Okay,
They're essays on different
okay,
topics by the same
okay,
author. Yeah,
okay.
think about it because I think I would love to hear your thoughts on each of these topic. And that means you don't have to write 300 pages on a topic.
Oh, yeah, I get that because now today, short
Mm.
reads are better
Uh,
between
e-
8,000 and 12,000 words rather
Correct.
than
Correct.
60,000.
Correct. Correct. Okay, that problem solved. Now let's get into other things.
Okay,
What?
hang on just a minute. I gotta do a sidetrack here
Mm-hmm.
because January 26th, 2025,
Yeah.
I posted on Substack my first, sharing of my ugly truths, and after the 3rd book that's gonna be the 3rd essay you're talking about, that's what made me think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote the 4th one was "Go Away, Hush." It was emotional hangover recovery was what that was, and at the beginning of that, I said, "The last 3 posts that I did
Mm-hmm.
may be the first 3 chapters of the 50 Shades of Donna."
That's a nice title. That's a real nice title.
So, maybe those are the 3 ones, and those are
Mm.
n
And you're
they're
getting more
not they're
shades.
not they're not G-rated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yay.
and you more shades are being revealed.
Yeah, maybe so.
There you go. There you go. See Natasha's name here. She is listening to us, and she is an author. She is an author of memoirs. She writes people's memoirs. So we would love to see her response to this suggestion. 50 Shades of Donna. What does she thinks about it? It's kind of a memoir, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's
Mm.
interesting because when I had spent 10 years attempting to get,
Mm.
uh, the life lessons from poker published, and every time I would send something about that
Mm.
to, book agents back in
Mhm.
the day before when you could do independent publishing well,
Mm.
they would say, "No, this is a memoir, and to look at a memoir, it's not a draft, you have to see the entire memoir." And I'm
Mm.
going, "Oh, give me a leak." So anyway, that was I actually pulled parts of Mind Shift on Demand from that,
Mm.
But it was my stroke story before in Halloween of 2013. Oh my
Mm,
goodness, we're coming up on 13 years.
mm,
When I tested, I was the lab rat for my mind shift exercises because I literally stood up from this chair. I had a mind shift exercise up on one of my external screens, and I'm looking up. I'm not looking away from you, by the way. The
mhm,
camera is right. Hello, how are you? But I'm looking at you because you're up there on the other screen.
mm,
And I stood up from here and I shook my fist at God and I said, "Hey, God, I want proof, and I want it proof now because the healthcare industry had said my mind shifting exercises had no proof." And moments later, lightning struck in my head, and I had the opportunity to prove that my mind shifting exercises work. And I was muted. I
mhm,
was muted. I could only say 2 words, and the healthcare team said it would take 8 to 9 months before I could speak. And I did one of my mind shifting exercises for probably 100 times, and in 3 days, I could speak clearly. So
wow.
that ended up being the first part of Mind Shift on Demand because it had started out something else, and
Mhm,
my book coach says, "Change the first chapter to that." And by the way, I had my poker coaching clients were advanced readers on my book, and every one of them came back and said, "Take the poker stories out, Donna." And I said, "Why?" They said, "Because we use your mind shifting methods in every part of our lives." Sure, it's
mm,
us with poker, but it's helps
mhm,
us with relationship, it helps us at work. One of them said, "Look, I go around," says, "I really detest my manager at work,
mm,
and he's so mean to other people, and he's mean to me, and when he does something like that, I go, 'Hmm, isn't that interesting? Hmm,'" and he
mm,
came to me and says, "What has been so interesting this week?" Because he said I must have said it 100 times during the week. Anyway,
mm.
so the our life
So,
our go ahead, I'm sorry. Yep, go.
no, the question came to my mind was, what mind shift exercise do you suggest when you are a caregiver?
Probably one that I shared last Monday
Mhm,
with my book owners, and it was gonna be for my book owners and my paid Substack members, but I had lost my other list. It was lost during the hurricanes, literally,
mhm,
and I'm, like, building my list again new, and in the
mhm,
book, there's a link to go to when you have the book and opt in there, and you get something from me every month,
mm,
and I said, "What is it that I want to share?" And it's one that I had never shared before, and it's called "Evict the
mhm,
Perfection," because our perfection from a recovering perfectionist.
mhm, mhm,
And I think that's it more than anything else because I'd like for you to do me a favor. Would you be
mhm.
my guinea pig?
Oh yeah, yes.
Okay.
Let's do
Okay.
that. Live. Yes.
Shut your eyes,
Mhm,
and I'd like for you to just ask on
mhm,
which shoulder
mm.
is your perfection witch sitting? Ask and tell me which shoulder it is.
My right shoulder.
Okay.
Mm,
Interesting enough. Now open your eyes, and
mhm,
what you do is this, and I'll it's really loud, so I don't wanna yell at you, but it's when you realize where it is because you have to say, "Where is she?" or
mhm,
"He,"
mm,
and then you turn
mhm,
and you say,
mhm.
"You have no permission to be here. Get off my shoulder now."
Okay, I'll do that.
Do it.
Okay, you have no permission to be here. Get off my shoulder now.
Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
believe that. Do it again. No, I want you to do it with fierceness.
Okay. Well,
D
fierceness is not my forte, but seriousness is.
Okay.
So get off my shoulder now. It's gone.
Okay.
It's gone. It's gone. Because I tell you why. Perfection is not my problem.
I know that.
I
So
I am
so
I
what
am like, yes, I do want to be good, but I don't want to be perfect.
excellent.
Mm.
But what is your problem?
My problem is too many shiny objects.
I know, it's called a
Like you, like you said, you have all these books. I have all these ideas and I
okay,
want to do them all at once.
yeah, it's called the shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
We share you and I share so much alike. And I guess if anything, the most
Mm,
important thing that uh, my word, at the big end of the year, they say, "Pick your word for next year." What's that word?
yeah. Yeah.
For several years, it was simple or simplify and
Mm,
simplify and simplify.
yeah.
And then last year, interestingly enough,
Hmm.
it, it was finish. And I went across. It was like, "Fucking finish something. Just finish."
I like that. I like that. Yeah. 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 I think that would be a good one. But see, what I realized about myself, Donna, was I am very good at working on projects. I like to start something, I like to finish, then I cannot continue with it. I like the start energy, finishing energy, and getting the thing done, resting, and then moving on to the next thing. And that is why my shining object syndrome is also works for me in certain ways because uh, then I have something else to look forward to when I've done something. And another thing I have developed over time is whenever I get an idea, I act on it straight away. Straight away. Because when you get an idea, the energy is every idea, according to me, comes with certain amount of energy with it. If you use that energy, you can carry that idea up to a certain level. So I try to do that. And then wherever I could take it, I take it and then I stop because I'm also trying to finish some other idea which I was working on before. And then if I feel like and that the finishing energy appears about the other idea, then I start and finish that too. Sometimes it comes after years, sometimes it comes after straight away. But I have so many things happening at the same time. And I'm realizing more and more so that I am not suitable for the kind of projects I've been getting into, which need continuous, steady flow of energy. I don't have much time left. Like you, I'm in my golden years and I need to make most of those. And there are many, many people like us on Substack, and we are attracting them by our writing, by our chats, and things like that. And it's my question to them. Have you realized what is your makeup? What is it that you want to do with your time left on this earth? And what is it? Are you really devoting it that way, or you're still figuring it out? Because it takes a while to figure it all out. Or we never figure it all out, but figure something out. So, in your case, you have figured quite a few things, and I'm figuring quite a few. Some I have, some I'm still figuring. So I think we can end it at this note, and I'll want to hear your reviews before we leave because it's already more than half an hour, and I only do lives for half an hour. Can't keep on detaining people. So, what do you think about this? That in our age, we do need to figure it out whether we know about ourselves, what are our strengths, and how to use them, and how to use our last decades in on this planet.
Well, for one thing, you said in our last time, I had a vision. I had a vision.
Mhm.
Years and years ago, I had a vision of doing my final presentation, and I've been a speaker, by the way, since the '80s.
Mhm.
I said, "God gave me this body at 6.5 feet tall. I'm supposed to be on stage, I guess, because there's no way I can hide. I go to the grocery store and people want to talk with me because they wanna know, did I play basketball? How tall was I when I was born?" Anyway, I in truth, those are questions I ask. So I had this vision of doing my final presentation in
Mhm.
front of 7,000 people at 120, at the age of 120. So I'm 77, so I'm just a little over halfway there.
Oh, okay. You have big plans and big vision. Okay.
So, what is it that I want to do?
Mhm.
What I know that I want to do is to have joy,
Mhm.
is to do what gives me pleasure,
Mhm.
is to do what makes me feel
Mhm.
satisfied. And
Mhm.
I have joy when I'm able to guide people to do a mind shifting exercise, when they've been able to reduce the stress in their life, when
Mhm.
they've experienced relief. And
Mhm.
that is a joy that I have. And to be able to come across wonderful people like you who still reach out to me, even though I seem like I lost for a while, and say, "Hey, let's have a chat." I love that. I love the fact that you've honored everybody, and thank everybody for being here because since you've been here, no one has left. So,
I think it's credit to you. You're so interesting to listen to.
well, just
And
know
and
but
and
but
and yeah.
I have to say, I know that you wanna finish this, but I wanna say one more time, if anyone that's sitting here is thinking about writing a book, you have to look at what Neera has in relationship to this 30 days to do a book. Her process is phenomenal, and
Thank you.
yeah, you gotta do it. I mean, it's very inexpensive, and by the way, you should raise the price. I just wanna let you know. You really ought to do that. And, let me know if you're interested in learning how to play poker better because I can help you be a much better poker player. And at the same time, the mind shifting exercises can be used in any part of your life. So, reach out
Wow.
to me, tell me what
And
it
and
is, ask me
and
anything.
and get Donna's book. It's wonderful. She's got all those exercises in her book. So
Oh,
I'm going to
hang on,
show you.
hang on.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah,
A
and
bit
this actually, if you see all this actually was my mother's copy of it, and I kept it because she had so many parts of it, um,
underlined. Underlined.
underlined and dog-eared, and I will forever have this copy of it. So,
Wow.
Mind Shift on Demand, uh, it's on Amazon, and donnablevins.com is my primary site, and if you go over there, you can opt in for a weekly newsletter that oftentimes isn't sent. But at least you'll be on my list, and
Yeah.
let me know, reach out to me on Substack and let me know what it is you enjoyed about this
Yeah.
time Sarah and
And
me
invite
together.
Donna for a chat because she loves to
I
chat.
do. Yeah, ask me anything.
Yeah, you can ask. Yeah, even about your playroom. Yes.
You like that, huh? You like
Yeah.
that?
Yes, yes. All right. We're going to call it a day. Thank you very much, everybody who joined us. Really love it. And I hope Donna made it worth your while to attend this chat. I hear there's so many other chats were going on, but we had our own private chat, so that's great. Thank you. Bye.
Thank
Have a good night, Donna. Bye
Bye.
bye.